Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, should I move on? How to tell if you're with the right girl or not. Well, the simple answer to that is, as a man, when you understand masculine energy, and that masculine energy is all about purpose, drive, mission, direction, achieving in life, accomplishing your purpose. And when I talk about your purpose, I'm talking about what it is that you do for a living, whether it's your career or a business that you have or a business that you want to start. The idea, in order to feel fully alive and to feel successful as a man, you have to do something for a living, because, I mean, let's face it, most of our time is going to be spent at work, and we might as well choose something that we really love and we really have a passion for. And so when it comes to choosing a good woman or the type of women that you should date, you should always look at the fact, is she supportive of my purpose? Does she stand behind me? Does she cheer me on when I feel like I can't do it, or if I've had a rough day? Does she say, baby, you can do anything, I believe in you? And if you got a chick that's with you that's going, oh, you're a fucking idiot, oh, you'll never accomplish that, oh, you'll never get that promotion at work. If you got a chick that's saying those things to you and she doesn't support you and she's not loving and she's kind, then you are with the wrong woman. Why? Because she just doesn't support what you do. Life is hard enough than to have a woman or the type of women that you date not supporting you, because every time you get around them, they're going to be making you feel like shit. They're going to cause you to doubt your own purpose. They're going to cause you, like I said, being an entrepreneur, it's a very difficult thing, especially when you're starting a business from scratch, because, most of the time, my experience in the past, there's usually about a decade-long process from the time you come up with the idea till you're really crushing it. To get to the point where you have an idea, and it's usually about a decade before things are really banging on all cylinders, and it may take you several years just to figure out your business model, figure out a way to make it profitable. And if you've got a woman in your life that doesn't support that, or she's not behind it, and she doesn't support you in what you want to do, she thinks it's stupid, then it's like you're tying your shoelaces, man, and life is too short. And so you definitely should move on if you're in that situation. So I got a guy here that's starting to have some doubts about the girl that he's dating and whether or not she's the right one for him. He says, hi, Corey. I sent you an email about a month ago about my girlfriend and me communicating. Since then, we have talked about it and agreed that we need to work on our communication together. Since then, things have gotten somewhat better, but I still feel as though she has put walls up, not communicating with me on a deep emotional level. The other night, we had a long talk, and towards the end of it, she told me that she doesn't have feelings. And that's important. You didn't say that she doesn't have feelings for you, but she just doesn't have feelings in general, I assume, is what she was saying. But when I hear a woman say, oh, I just don't have any feelings, she's basically saying, because he says, I know she does because everybody has feelings, but she has had a hard family life, and her parents really haven't been there for her to spend time with her. She told me that so many people have stomped on her and walked all over her in life that she's learned to not care so she won't be hurt anymore. And when a woman says something like that to me, that tells me that she's a wounded little bird. In other words, she's basically saying, I'm not going to really give my best foot. I'm not going to put my best foot forward in a relationship because it's not going to work out anyways, and I'm just going to get hurt. And so I might as well hold back. And more than likely, she probably dates guys that she's really not that into, because that way she won't get hurt. I've known women that are like that. There's a lot of really beautiful women out there that'll date guys that they're really not into and marry and have children the whole 9 yards because they can maintain an emotional distance between her. She'll form a deeper bond with the children than she will her own spouse. And so you got to be cognizant, you got to be aware of how a woman is treating you. He says, it really made me sad to hear that. And the other thing to keep in mind is the fact that she's saying it, she's also communicating, I don't have any feelings for you. And obviously if you wrote me because you were having problems a month ago about your communication, and it's gotten a little bit better, but that would tell me that the girl that I'm with really is not that into me. And that's not a good place to be. He says, I told her that I wanted to be the one person in her life that is there for her if she lets me. That's a total approval-seeking statement. That's so weak. I would never say that to a girl. What I would say is, baby, you can tell me anything. What's on your mind? Tell me, come on, sweetheart, what's going on? And you say it like that. A guy doesn't say those things. If a guy really means it, he digs. What's the matter, baby? Why are you like this? Why are you being so distant? And he gets her to talk and to open up. And you're throwing that as like, throwing it out there as a line like, hey, I'm going to be that guy that you can tell everything to, so, okay, tell me. It's just not the way to approach it. And like I said, plus the way you approached it, it's seeking her approval and putting her on a pedestal. And that tells me the condition of your mindset and how you're showing up in this relationship. And that's creating problems for you. She didn't really say much about that, but at least I let her know. Well, women, especially when it comes to that, if you really meant that, then you would get her to talk about things when she shut down to you emotionally. He says, it also made me wonder how much she really cares about me, because I want a girl who cares about me and shows me affection. And he says, I think it's something that all humans need and want. He says, I just don't know if there's something I can do to open her up or to help her trust me and get her feelings back, realizing that life is what you make it. It's not your job to fix this girl, dude. She can go through life with no feelings or turn from that chapter in her life and start fresh. What can I do, if anything? Ask her simple things. When she's upset and you guys are together and she says, I don't want to talk about it, just say, come on, tell me, what's on your mind? He's like, don't give me that crap, I don't want to talk about it. What's going on in your mind? If we're going to have a great relationship, you've got to communicate with me, and you've got to talk to me, and you've got to be open. And if you're just going to be closed up and be a clam, then it's never going to work between us. I want to be with a woman who communicates and doesn't hold back, that she speaks whatever's in her heart, as opposed to holding back, just saying, oh, I'm not going to tell you. I mean, those are the kind of things that I would say to get her to open up if she's like that. But if you're having to do those kinds of things, it's either because you shut her down or she's just totally emotionally fucked up. And if she's totally emotionally fucked up, I mean, you've already shared a lot of things that sound like red flags to me, like this girl's a mess. And I would say you could probably do a lot better. I also want to tell you the other side of the story. She told me that she feels that whatever she does is not good enough for me. I tell her that that's completely not true, but I think that there is a part of my personality that is critical and not really visible, but it's there. And I would say the reason she's saying that is she's probably tried to show you that she cares about you in the past, and because you're seeking her approval, and it doesn't sound like you really know where you stand with this girl, and you can tell that her interest is really not that high, that you're trying to force things, and you want things to be other than they are. And so no matter how much she's communicated you in the past that she cares about you, it's like it's never good enough. In other words, like deep down you still don't believe it's true. Or maybe she just feels like you're just not a very happy guy and you're not happy. And I've had, like when I was younger, I had women say to me, I just couldn't make you happy. In other words, what I realized was that like in that particular relationship, I was with a woman who I was hoping would make me happy. And when I realized that after 6 months, a year, whatever it was that we were together, that I just simply wasn't happy as a person, then it's like no matter how much love she showed me, it was like it wasn't enough. It wasn't, she just felt like no matter what she did, that she couldn't make me happy. And it came to a point where she just felt like giving up. And the problem was that at that particular time in my life, I went to the relationships thinking, if I just have a girl that's really awesome and perfect, then it'll solve all my problems. And it did for a while, but it didn't last because I was still faced with the fact that I wasn't happy. He says, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I'm just the kind of person who's always trying to better myself and others and not forcing things upon them, but I want the best for everything. She told me that I was acting and had more needs than a girl, which I'm glad that she told me. In other words, she's basically saying, dude, you're acting like a woman. Because, again, everything you share with me, it sounds like your mindset is approval-seeking kind of behavior. And so it sounds like you don't really know where you stand, and you're constantly pursuing and chasing this girl. And so, therefore, you're not giving her any opportunity for her feelings for you to grow. And so my suggestion is that, I mean, if she's just never been an affectionate person, if she's says, I told her that I would work on things and apologize for making her doubt me. She thinks that we move too fast in our relationship, and she thinks that at this point in our relationship, things are not good. He says, what can I do? How can I? And I would say the best thing you can do is to back off, make sure she starts doing 70 to 80% of the pursuing, and you might go several days without talking to her, and just wait and just say, you know what, go back to a fallback position where you're going to call her once a week to ask her out on a date. And if she calls you before that week happens, meaning like say last time you talked to her was a Sunday, and then like you haven't talked to her and it's the following Monday, then I'd call her on a Monday and invite her out to do something. But if she doesn't call you the whole week, then it tells you that she's really not that into you, and you might be with a chick who's trying to give you reasons to break up with her because she doesn't have the guts to do it herself. And the only way you can know for sure is if you back off, because if everything's fine, you're communicating, and then you just back off because she's just kind of lukewarm, doesn't really seem to give a shit about you. She's not affectionate like you say. If you back off for a couple days and she texts you and says, hey, I haven't heard from you, just take that as an opportunity to arrange the next time to get together and stop all of this drama and this stuff about relationship and what it means, and just focus on having a good time with this girl. And just do that from week to week. But if she doesn't call or she doesn't text you, then it means that her interest is really low in you. But say a week goes by or 3 or 4 days go by and she texts you and you arrange a time to get together, a definite date where you don't leave shit up in the air and you're not going to the movies, you're not doing the kind of crap a friend would do, like going to lunch, you're actually doing stuff at night. See how she is, and then she should warm back up to you over the course of a few weeks when you stop pursuing her, but just make sure that she's doing 70 to 80% of the initiating contact. And like I said, don't contact her at all at this point. And if you haven't heard from her in a week, call her, text her, arrange a date, time to get together, and then get off the phone. But like I said, if you don't hear from her, then it means that her interest is really low. But say you do everything right, and a few days go by, you haven't heard from her, and she gets a little nervous, and you arrange a time to get together, and you go out and you guys have a great time together, and things get all hot and heavy again. And say after a few weeks or a month, you get everything back to the way it was, and things are good. But if she's still not affectionate, she's still this way, then you really, and she doesn't support your purpose, and she doesn't stand behind what you do, then I would say you need to cut your losses and move on at that point. So if you've got a question you want to ask me, you can go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, detailing your questions, your situation, your challenges, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. But be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen and just follow the instructions. And if you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, right underneath the email sign-up box is a link to my Amazon Kindle page. You can download the Amazon Kindle version of my book to any electronic device in under 60 seconds. And I will talk to you soon.